Hey, it's Alvi here. I'm dropping in with a collective reading. I was speaking to a friend earlier, and I actually already did this reading on Facebook, but apparently my sound just dropped out halfway through. So, as usual, I'm glitching out the tech and all that sort of stuff. So here we are again. So there's this energy going through the collective, right? Um, the pick a card readings that I did yesterday, pretty much everyone who I got to comment which reading they'd like on my Facebook page, they chose number 3, and number 3 was about expanding out of this bubble that you might be currently in, right? But there's also this other energy coming through, and I feel like it's related. I feel like just being really real here, I had like a total breakdown yesterday. I was like, just like, I just can't do this anymore. I don't even fucking want to be alive. But I couldn't, it's that kind of, it's this feeling of like, oh, why am I doing this and just doing this over and over again, and I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm like shoving shit uphill basically. It could be related to work, career, business. It could be related to relationships. It could be related to just being alive. Things are heavy and different and different. Things are heavy and difficult in the energy right now. And yeah, I just kind of, I want to tap into that. I want to tap into that feeling of like wanting to give up. That's basically the feeling that it is. It's like, I felt like this was my aligned path when I started walking on it, but now it just feels so challenging that I'm wondering if I'm still on the right path. So if you're feeling like that, then this reading's for you. Let's get into the cards and see what happens, see what they have to say. I'm interested to know if I get similar messages that I did before, or if things have changed a little bit now. I don't think so though. Just maybe different cards, but same messages. So what we're doing is we're looking into anybody who's feeling this collective, who's feeling like why bother, just wanting to give up kind of energy, not really feeling like they're on the right path, and wondering if there's a different direction that they should go, or what's going on basically. So yeah, let's see what these angel cards have to tell us about this. Okay, it says listen to your intuition. All right, so as soon as I saw that, I kind of cringed, because I was like, for a lot of people, myself included, this feeling is coming along with a lot of like confusion. It's like, I'm not hearing my intuition, or am I hearing my intuition and not acting on it? Like, what's going on? I thought I was following my intuition. So I'm gonna have a little bit like a deeper look into that. If I could speak, please. Oh dear. Gonna look into that a little bit more deeply. So listen to your intuition. What's your intuition telling you? Can I get a card to clarify that, please? Take action. Interesting. Why? What am I meant to take action on? What are we meant to take action on? This is yeah, it's different, definitely. Recovery. All right. I'm going to give these cards a tap, because I just feel like they're not really connecting to what the energy is and things. So I'm just gonna, all right, so let's try that again. For the collective of people who are finding things challenging, questioning their path, feeling like they're ready to give up on doing the thing that their intuition told them to do, what guidance, what message do you have for these people? So ask your angels. All right, so asking your angels, asking your intuition. I mean, we all have different ways of connecting to that energy. So ask your angels, ask your angels. Let's have a look and see what else they have to say. What else would you like to tell the collective of people who are basically just done, feeling like they're shoving shit uphill and not really knowing why they're still doing it and why nothing is working out? Okay, improving health. Interesting. See what else comes up. And then we have take action come up again. All right, so I feel like there are messages coming through for you energetically. It might be difficult to hear them right now. One of the readings I did in the pick a card that I posted yesterday, the group 1 reading, was speaking about fog and how like there might be a lack of clarity that you're experiencing right now. So I feel like maybe this is you too. Um, or this might, it might connect for you if you were to watch that reading as well. Um, let's have a look at the tarot and see what that has to say. See what messages come through the tarot. So I know there is an energy of expansion sort of coming through, but I feel like if you're feeling off path or whatever, that means often that you're kind of out of alignment, even if you feel like you should be. It could be that we are integrating some energies around the last lot of solar flares and that kind of solar activity. We're still integrating those. I think it was the beginning of this week, although I don't know because I don't really follow time, if you know what I mean. Time is quite an irrelevant. It's a construct, and it's sort of like, I don't know what day it is. I don't know when it was, but it was a while ago, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, beginning of the week, perhaps. There was quite a few, like a significant amount of flares and things like that. And there's, been things going on in the ionosphere or the magnetosphere, and they do affect our physical beings. So, yeah, I feel like it's a good thing to remember if you don't know, if you're feeling that way, if it's feeling foggy, it feels like everything's kind of just falling apart. It's often the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. It's the way that the universe can sort of shake things up and get you to pay attention to the things that you might not need to either release, let go of, or pay attention to in a way, like, if something comes up to consciousness, to process it so that you can release that from your energy field, so that you're closing things out before you step into this new timeline or this new cycle, or however you want to see it. I feel like for a lot of you that might be the case. I feel that, like, how can I put this? I feel like the lack of clarity is because there are things going on in the energy, in the atmosphere, that your spirit guides and your team are sort of like overseeing, but you can't really be part of it right now. I did a relationship reading as well. I said it was not the right time, and that was the message I got for that as well. It was like, just right now, it's sort of a bit like everything's a bit topsy-turvy, and we're waiting for, it's like when you throw a rock in the pond or something like that, and it stirs up all the stuff on the bottom. That's what's happened. So before you can have clarity, you have to let that stuff that you stirred up, or that the solar flare stirred up, or whatever's stirring it up, right? And you have to let that settle back down, because you might be you're just picking up on all of this stuff that's all around you, everybody else's crap as well as your own. So crap energy, things that they're either experiencing or maybe processing or not aware of. Often if you're quite empathic and sensitive, you'll pick up on stuff that other people aren't aware that they're repressing, and you'll feel it, or that they're not sort of expressing, but it's still there in their energy field. So yeah, I feel like a lot of energy clearing would be helpful for anyone who's feeling like this, for people who are connecting with this reading. I'm gonna get some tarot cards now. That was just a big channeled sort of message coming through, things that my guides are reminding me to tell you guys. There was actually I just got a notification not long ago about more solar flares that have just happened now. So you know, it's a never-ending process, and I think it's just a matter of like learning how these things, or remembering to ride the waves rather than like get dumped by them, get drowned by them. Sometimes it's harder than others. Sometimes the shifts can hit you really hard because they're things that um you haven't yet kind of cleared out or become aware enough of to work through. And this is like what happens is it shakes stuff up in your cells, it shakes stuff up in your DNA and in your body, and it's like things that you may not have even realized were there, the stuff that's in your subconscious. And again, I'm tapping into the pick a card reading that I uploaded yesterday. Group 2 was about generational healing and DNA healing and things like that. So, you know, there's that going on as well. People might be having things come up that need to be healed, but it sometimes it can look like, you know, things are really dense and intense and not going the way that you planned because you're healing, you're pulling through all of this stuff. My favorite positive psychology self-help guru, Louise L. Hay, back in the day, like when I read her book first years and years ago, like the 80s or something, she always she'd talk about how like healing is a lot like cleaning the pan that you've roasted a turkey in. It's like you keep scrubbing and scrubbing and you think you're getting nowhere because there's just all this mess everywhere. And eventually, if you keep scrubbing, you get to the bottom and all of the mess that was turkey was the baked turkey is gone. And that's sort of like an analogy for what happens when we're healing through these big, deep sort of generational rifts and collective stuff that's you know, that you might be tapping into right now. And every time I'm about to get another card, what comes up? Me having more messages come through. So yeah, anyway, that's good. Not all messages need to come from the cards. The cards are really just a tool to kind of, you know, put the messages, the energy in the right direction for use. For use. I don't know why I said that. I don't actually say that word very often at all. I think it's hilarious. What am I, a sheep? So yeah, let's have a look and see what is it that you could take action on? What's going to help move you through this shifts? What's going to help you find the clarity that you need? The reassurance that the path you're on is actually your aligned path, because you may not feel like that right now. I feel like it's you know, things, it just feels very challenging. It feels like, you know, you might have been doing things for a long time, working towards something for a long time, and now all of a sudden all this shit's coming up and stopping it from happening, or it's just sort of doesn't seem like it was worth the energy, and you just keep having to go through the motions. So let's find out what the tarot is going to say. There's just so much going on coming through right now. It's bizarre. Well, it's not, but sometimes it can be like so full of I have too much to say on a daily basis. All right, get me messages, please. What can they take action on? What can they take action on? What is it about? Any messages, please? Oh, here we go. I feel like that was one. Gonna jump up. All right, the Queen of Swords. All right, so taking action on the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Swords energy is it's about being, you know, less reactive, I guess, being a bit more of an observer. She is someone who could be a bit cold and calculating in some way. So maybe it's talking about, you know, rather than always, and I know this is going to sound so counterintuitive and so fucking wrong, right? But rather than always thinking about the greater good, maybe sometimes you have to think about yourself first. That's kind of the message that's coming through here. Like the Queen of Swords just takes no shit, right? She cuts things out that are no longer working for her. She cuts things with her sword. She has a sword, right? She's the Queen of Swords. Although a lot of the time it's because she is really just holding back her emotions. So I feel like this is you finding a balance between that, between being really cold and calculating, because sometimes you have to be a little ruthless in life to get what you want, and cutting things out that are not really working for you. So, but also finding that balance between that, that deeply compassionate part of you that wants to help everyone, that wants to do the good thing sort of thing, or wants everything to work out and it all to be nice and loving and all of that sort of stuff. And I mean, who doesn't really? But I feel the pathway forward is to find a balance between those two, like those two types of energies, those two types of ways of being, and take action down the middle path. I'm going to try and get a little bit more on that because it wasn't very, I mean, it was specific, but not as specific as I'd like to get. Give me some more clarification on taking action. What direction do you want to go? Okay. Knight of Pentacles. This is a slow moving energy. So it's saying maybe, I hate it. I hate to have to say it, but it's like, it's still coming. Whatever it is that you've been working towards, it's still coming. That the work that you're putting in, I'll show you the card. The work that you're putting in, it's like planting, a crop or whatever. This is kind of what this card reminds me of. It's planting crops, waiting for them to grow kind of thing. Or leaving a path behind you. So I feel like you planted the seeds of what it is that you have been, focusing on and wanting to achieve, that you are now feeling so burnt out about and like ready to give up on. They are going to grow. It just takes time. And I can hear people saying, yeah, but I've already given it heaps of time, myself included. Honestly, I feel the same way. It's like, how much longer can I wait? How much more patience do I need? I'm going to get another card and see. Actually, I might grab, I just want to see what these cards are slightly different to the traditional tarot meaning. So I'm curious to see what they say about the Knight of Pentacles in here. Knight. Here we go. Nine of Pentacles. If I can see, because it's really dark in here. Doesn't look like it because of the camera and the way it's set up, but it is actually quite dark. So diligence, hard work, determination, steadfastness, building material security, safety, and being pragmatic. Seed by seed, I plant my future with my rock steady foundation of faith. Okay, so they're saying don't give up just because it's a little bit tricky right now. Yeah, let's see what else they've got to say. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself about the way that I felt about it yesterday. I don't feel the same way today. I feel like whatever happened, it kind of like it unplugged or released a lot of stuff that I needed to release. And now I've kind of got a bit more clarity or a bit more energy for it. Something was holding me back that I needed to, really feel and really process and really release. So this might be something that you might need to do. You might need to dig into the fact that you're feeling really fucking frustrated, or just that you don't understand why it's not happening, because there's always something there, and the energy, there might be something you just haven't noticed yet. Three of Pentacles. This is working together with people. So networking. This came up in that group 3 reading as well. So yeah, I really recommend that you watch that reading if you are in this place, in this feeling, in this pocket of the collective that's feeling this fed up, fucked off kind of energy. The 3 of Pentacles, I feel like it's like working together with other people. Sometimes that, or allowing other people in on what you're doing, having help from other people, whether it's someone coaching or taking the suggestions that other people might give you that you would normally just go, no, that's not my path, because I didn't hear that from my intuition. My angels didn't say that to me. My guides didn't say that to me. That, that sort of thing. sometimes it's great to know yourself and to know your messages and understand what you're meant to do, but sometimes in these situations your messages might come through other people. There might be someone who says just something randomly, when you're hanging out with your friends and it clicks, or you know sharing that load with other people might work really well for you as well, perhaps. um just having the input of other people, I feel like it's going to expand what you're already doing or what you already know into something slightly different, and that might be the way to get realigned with the path that you felt like you were, or with the path that you had chosen because you felt aligned with it at the time. um hmm, that's interesting. So we have the Five of Cups here. So the Five of Cups is this is the this is basically the energy of it right now. It's sort of almost like, even if it's not a personal relationship, if it's work or whatever, it still feels kind of heartbreaking. I'm like having to let things go. But in saying that, it's like sometimes when you let the things go that you think, I can't let that go, it's actually in that moment, in that action, in that release, that you find the solution that you couldn't find before, because it's kind of like having something there that's not meant to be there is like resistance to the other things that are going to come to you. And then we have the moon, and the moon talks about, the subconscious. So this could be something that's lurking in your subconscious. Perhaps you have wow, 4:44 on the clock. So yeah, okay, that's some kind of confirmation, right? That whatever it is, there's some subconscious issues that are going on there. um it could be, scarcity mindset stuff that you haven't really realized is there, because a lot of the time, if it's subconscious, you don't know until it comes out to play, or you don't know until you start to become very aware of it, or you start to practice awareness about it. um so yeah, I feel like there's definitely something in the subconscious that you need to let go of, somehow release. There's plenty of different ways you can do that. You could always hit me up for a session, because I can help you. I work with the subconscious mind quite a lot, whether it's doing releasing thoughts and patterns through energy healing, or whether it's using what I like to call the Jedi mind trick set, which is NLP, which is a bunch of very strange exercises that do weird things and change the way that you think and feel about things completely. I've done some practice work with people a while ago, and they still tell me, like, what we did was to choose a food that they wanted to stop eating but they were really into. And what we did was we went through this exercise, and so many of them have said to me, I still can't eat that thing. I feel sick now. So it's like, it's very powerful work, but it's sort of something that a lot of people don't really understand. And it's actually extremely hard to explain to people as well. But, if that's something that sounds like it might be helpful to you, if you've got a particular way of thinking about things and you wish you didn't, or there's a certain level of anxiety around, I don't know, specifically coming through here is like money, finances, and things like that. Maybe that's something that, that could help. So let's get a few more messages. I feel like I'm really actually starting to get right into the depth of this now. Let's see what's in the subconscious. Okay. So you have two Pentacles cards here, which is interesting as well. What else does this group of people need to know? What else does this pocket of the collective need to know? All right. Yeah, we have the Nine of Cups. So that is a card about wish fulfillment, right? So I feel like they're chucking this one in just to remind you, like, that it's still there. My business coach was telling me the other day, as I said, I was feeling like this too. She was telling me that people sell elephant poop on the internet, and I was like, what, are you kidding? And she's like, yeah, people actually buy it too. So if they can sell elephant shit on the internet, then you can do whatever it is that you want to do and create whatever it is that you want to create, because the Nine of Cups is here to remind you. So yeah. And then the Four of Cups. So it's sort of like, mm, okay. The Four of Cups is, um, I'm bored, I'm lonely, I'm getting really sick of this shit. Is that kind of energy. I've gotten so complacent with it. It's like I can't be bothered. But at the same time, there's like this one cup here that she could be paying attention to. So I feel like there's something that you're missing, like something that's, it might be quite obvious, right? But whatever it is, what could it be? Something that's bringing you passion. All right. So my guides are saying to me, it doesn't have to be related to what this reading's about. It can be related to anything. It's about bringing more joy or noticing the other things in life that are kind of joyful and happy and make you light up. That's what I'm getting, because I'm seeing like rainbow things. It's to remember that energy of when you are fully connected with source, and you remember, you're never alone, there's always enough, and all of those things. When you feel like you're part of that unity, when you're like flowing, doing some kind of artwork or music or something creative, perhaps it doesn't have to be that either, that's just what's coming through. um and it doesn't have to be to do with whatever the rest of this reading's about, but it's about bringing that spark of joy and that spark of inspiration back into your life, so that you don't feel like you're just constantly walking up a hill pushing a boulder full of shit that keeps rolling back down on top of you. Elephant poop, probably. Yeah, so it's a very interesting message. We had the Ace of Wands as well. I'm not quite sure which way that's meant to go. All right, reversed. Yeah, so they're saying the complacency. There's no complacency, right? That's the word that I would usually use with this card, but I feel like it's like when you focus too hard on certain things, or too much on certain things that aren't actually fulfilling, what you're doing is creating a resistance to the things that you really want to come in that will be fulfilling. So you need to turn away from that, because it stopped your inspiration, so you don't feel inspired to do what you're doing anymore. Or what it is that you were focused on or trying to achieve. The inspiration for that is kind of, it's still there, but it's under a rock, because there's too much focus on something that's not working, and rather than that, they want you to focus on what there is, like the complete abundance of the universe and all of that sort of stuff. But as I said before, also something else that's like, and it's going to be different for everyone because this is a collective reading, but something that sparks you up, something that sparks joy, something that just makes you happy and remember who you are, instead of forgetting that you are an amazing being of energy and light and all of that sort of stuff, and you're continuously connected to the source of everything and the unconditional love of everything. So doing things that remind you of that, rather than forgetting that you are that and being this human person that's trying to fucking struggle all the time. Because it's always when you find the balance between those two things, that's when things start to roll, that's when things start to make sense and take you places that you wanted to go, or take you places you didn't even expect. So, wow, that was pretty full on. Hopefully it made sense, and it's helped you in some way. If it did, then make sure you give me thumbs up. Or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed. I do a weekly pick a card reading, which I mentioned about 6 times. So yeah, if you're interested in that, sometimes that might be something helpful for you as well. If not, all good. Thanks for watching. Bye. We need some food. What about you? I feel so chesty. Crappy. I don't like chesty.